Hello and welcome back. Now I would like to talk a little bit about viruses. So viruses are the parasites of the cell machinery, which means nucleic acid synthesis and protein synthesis. They can only live in living cells, and when they leave the cells, they die. There are some exceptions, for example, tubermoviruses, which can crystallize and stay on surfaces and in the soil and on plant debris for many years, like maybe up to 20 years. But the viruses which are infecting lilies are not this kind. You can see that this plant is showing symptoms. This is an oriental hybrid hocus pocus, and I bought these 5 plants this spring. You can see that these next to them are healthy. So when you buy lilies, there's a small chance that you will get virus infected plants. It is part of life, it is part of agriculture and horticulture. Nothing is 100%. So you can see these typical virus symptoms on the leaves, which manifests in yellowish green lines and spots, darker green spots on the leaves next to the veins. And once a plant is virus infected, it is infected for life if the virus is showing symptoms and spreads throughout the plants. There are sometimes local lesion hosts which do not get infected. There will be just very small dead lesions on the leaves, and these are really used in laboratory settings to test viruses and isolate single infections. Lilies, however, are susceptible to a lot of viruses, unfortunately, and all viruses have different symptoms. Sometimes you can see the symptoms only on the leaves, sometimes you can see the symptoms on the bulbs, on the stems, and sometimes on the flowers. When the symptoms are on the flowers, it is really undesirable, and it's not good for selling those plants for as cut flowers. However, in a garden setting, I don't think there is much relevance if a plant is virus infected or not. Just when you are breeding and you want to introduce your cultivar. So plants can live for a long time with viruses. There have been reports of tulips, for example zomerschoon. It's more than a 400-year-old tulip variety which was infected with a Rembrandt tulip breaking virus, and it still lives today, although the plant is very weak and it does not flower in Hungary, only in the Netherlands under cool maritime climates. So I don't discard this plant because I'm a virus researcher and I'm interested in what viruses are in this plant, because sometimes there can be more than one virus in a plant. Okay, now I think we can move on from this cultivar and check another one. And I'm standing between the plant and the sun because dispersed light is better to see virus symptoms. This plant is also infected with virus, and you can see there are very, very mild mosaic symptoms on the leaves. And this plant had very interesting symptoms very early in the year. When the shoot started to emerge from the bulb, it was very striped. So I don't know which cultivar is. I will see it when it flowers, but I'm very interested. And this is another cultivar. It's one of my favorite cultivars. It's called African Lady, and this plant is also virus infected. And you can see that the virus symptoms are not on the top leaves but in the lower leaves, and you can see these greenish, light yellowish green flecks on the leaves and linear mosaic near the veins. So this tree plant was bought this year also, and they were all virus infected. These are just a few examples, because you can see that the other plants I bought this year are totally healthy. So sometimes whole batches get infected, And in the Netherlands, if the grower finds that the whole batch is infected, they usually discard the whole batch or the whole cultivar. So sometimes you cannot buy a cultivar for a couple of years because they need some time to clean the stock. And viruses can only be cleaned in tissue culture laboratories, and there are some really interesting and complicated procedures that they can use to eliminate viruses from the plants. Here also there's another oriental hybrid which has these mild symptoms on the leaves. This is also a virus infection, but you know, I told you already, I'm a researcher and I really don't mind if there are virus infected plants in my garden. In Hungary we have a lot of aphids, thrips and leafhoppers, and they can all spread viruses and all other pathogens. For example, leafhoppers can spread phytoplasmas, which if I see a symptom I will talk about it. And they will get virus infected eventually. Oh, there's an interesting symptom. This one is also virus symptom, and these brown oval spots with purple surroundings are botrytis. So I will make a video about botrytis soon, and if you have any questions, you can leave a comment, and if you like my content you can subscribe and ring the bell, and you can also share my videos with fellow gardeners and people who might be interested. So thank you so much, and see you next time. Goodbye.